Are you trying to find a mascara that doesn't run, that doesn't clump your lashes, that stays put all day, that gives you the va-va-voom you're after, or gives you beautiful, fluttery, everyday lashes? Well, in this video, I'm going to be testing 7 mascaras. Some are affordable, some are high-end, and I hope that this will provide you with some valuable intel on which mascaras are going to work best for you. Hello and welcome, or welcome back. So this video has been a long time in the making, and I just want to let you know there's going to be quite a long preamble to the demonstration of these mascaras because I needed to bring them up to a certain standard. In other words, I needed to have used them for a couple of weeks to give them the chance to get going, because I don't know about you, but I do find that mascaras, when they're first opened, they don't necessarily perform very well, so you've got to give them a couple of weeks to get going. So that's why it's taken me so long to get around to doing this video. And the other thing I hummed and hawed about was whether to use an eyelash primer, because in my normal day-to-day life, I do actually really enjoy using an eyelash primer, and I find that it gives my lashes that extra oomph. So I debated whether to do that, and I did start to do that with one of the mascaras, but then I thought actually that's not really fair because I'd have to do it on all of them, and I'd have to do one eye with a primer and one eye without, and it was all getting too complicated. I think I was overthinking this whole idea, so I decided not to do that. So all the applications that you're going to see in a moment are all just with mascara and no primer. And actually the other issue I had was which primer to use, because the 2 primers I use are the Dior and also the L'Oreal primer, which I've just finished. Actually, it's upstairs, so I should have brought it down. But all the details of everything I talk about, of course, will be down below in the description box and in a pinned comment as well. So I decided not to go with the primer. Now, the other thing to say is quite a lot of these mascaras, although not all of them, were suggested by you, my wonderful viewers and subscribers, because I did put a shout out in one of my videos from about 6 weeks ago or so, asking for any suggestions on mascaras, and you were all very forthcoming, which was great. So I hope that I've covered maybe not all, but some of the mascaras that you recommended. Now, the final thing to say is to talk about my particular lashes. So as you may be able to see, my lashes are not particularly thick, but they are very long, and that's because I use a lash serum. I've been using Revitalash, I think, for a good 3 or 4 years now, and I do find it to be extremely good, but it doesn't really make my lashes thick. It makes them very long. And the other thing that I cannot live without is having my lashes lifted. Now, I know this is something that some of you don't know a huge amount about because it's not that popular in your country, but in the UK it is definitely a thing and has been for quite some time. I'll put the details down below for you. I think the one that my salon uses, and I go about every 3 months to have them lifted. It's basically like having a perm, except it just lifts your lashes, and my lashes are like stalactites. You sort of fall, and when they're lifted, they are lifted. When they're lifted, they're lifted. Of course they are. What I mean is I don't have to use an eyelash curler because they are permanently lifted for 3 months. They start to droop towards the end of the last month, but they're never that droopy, and I never need to use an eyelash curler. It's amazing. It's one of the best things I've ever discovered in the beauty space. So that's the history of my lashes. That's where I'm coming from. So I'm not really looking for a curl. My preferred lash look is thick, black, and a bit va-va-voom. I don't actually mind having lashes like that in the daytime as well as when I'm going out in the evening. I just like the full lash experience, if you like, the full falsy lash effect. That's really what I like. But I don't mind having the sort of thinner, more daytimey look, that's fine. But my preferred look is really the full Monty. So that was quite a long preamble, but let's now cut to the chase and talk about the 7 mascaras that I'm going to show you today. And what I've done is I've recorded myself applying the mascara with a little bit of a voiceover, but I'm also going to talk to you about my conclusions at the end of each clip. So let's start with mascara number 1, and that is the Kiko Milano, and this was a viewer suggested mascara. The Kiko Milano Luxurious Lashes Extra Volume Brush Mascara is £11.49 or $11.50. The claims are that it's volume and definition enhancing and that the spiral shape of the brush coats each individual lash and that it gives an even and clump-free application. It has a rubber brush and I think it's quite thin, which makes it trickier to coat the lashes, although perhaps you get less chance of clumping. And the overall effect was thicker and much more voluminous than I expected, but as you can see there was an awful lot of fallout by the end of the evening, which was a bit disappointing, although that could have been partly to do with me falling asleep on the sofa earlier that evening. So the overall effect of the mascara was good. It is an interesting brush actually, because although it's rubber, it's actually thicker than the usual rubber brush that you get with a lot of mascaras. And I enjoyed the overall effect. Obviously there was fallout at the end of the day, but that could have been because I fell asleep, and I will definitely keep on using this one. I think it gives a nice thick lash for a rubber brush, because a lot of rubber brushes don't give you that full thickness that I particularly like. So I definitely think it's worth a punt, and I think it's quite affordable as well. I think £11 or $11 is not a bad price for a mascara, and it feels nice and solid as well. Now this next mascara was also a viewer suggested mascara, although I'm pretty sure I have tried this before, but I think that was quite a few years ago, and it's the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift. The L'Oreal Telescopic Lift mascara is £11.97 or $6.20. The claims are that it lengthens and lifts lashes up to 5mm, and it has an innovative double bristle brush which grabs and lifts all the lashes. This is another rubber brush. The final look was long and separated and better than I first thought, and there was no fallout, and it still looked good at the end of the day. So I think this L'Oreal mascara was a very good everyday mascara. It's very reasonably priced, although for some reason at the moment on Amazon it seems to be half the price almost than it is in the UK, but as we know Amazon prices can vary. I think this is a really good everyday mascara. The brush is thin, but it's slightly curved, and I really was impressed with it, I must say. And I think it's a really good workaday mascara, and if you're looking for something to wear on the day-to-day, I would say this is a really good, I was going to say investment, but I mean it isn't really an investment, it's a very reasonably priced product. So really like this, really pleased with it. So the next mascara is the No7 Age Defying Mascara, and this was also viewer recommended. The No7 Age Defying Mascara is $13.99 or $12.99. The claims are that this all-in-one serum mascara improves the appearance of lash quality over time, helping lashes to feel strengthened from the root to the tip, reducing breakages day by day. Eyes look instantly more youthful and wide awake, and lashes are visibly lifted. The container felt very flimsy for the price as compared to the Kiko, Milano and even the L'Oreal. There was a tiny bit of clumping on one side, but it certainly had excellent staying power, and there was no visible fallout at the end of the day. Now this container is pretty flimsy for the price. It's slightly more expensive than the L'Oreal. It feels incredibly light, but I really like the fact that there's lots of product on it. I like a mascara that shows me it's got lots of stuff inside the container, and this one certainly does. It had really good staying power as well. There was no fallout at all. So again, although it feels flimsy, I think it is a really good everyday mascara, similar to the L'Oreal. Now for the next mascara, we're going high end, and this is the Rare Beauty. Now before I run the clip, I did actually say that this was in my favourites of 2023 last year, and I bought the mini and I was really impressed with it. I really liked it. Rare Beauty Perfect Strokes Mascara retails for £21 or $27. It claims that with the two bristle lengths on the brush, it hugs the eyes and works well with all lash types. The mascara also contains castor oil, which works to soften, nourish and condition the lashes, and provides buildable weightless volume with separation, and that it's water resistant and will provide all day wear without flaking or smudging. The brush part is quite light, but it is thick enough, and it did give a nice voluminous finish with some thickness, and there was no fallout at the end of the day. I must admit I wasn't quite as taken with it this time as I was last year. I thought my lashes looked a little spindly, not quite as thick as I would have liked. But it's fine, it's just not very exciting. And for the price I think you could probably do better, or try a mini first. Now this next mascara was not viewer recommended, but I tried the mini because I got it as a free sample when I was buying something from Sephora, I think. So I decided to get the full size, and it's the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara retails for $22.95 or $39. The claims are that the hourglass shaped brush unlocks the formula to create the perfect mascara that coats every lash. It stretches, lengthens and curls lashes for extreme volume without flaking. I found the brush to be similar to the Rare Beauty, with what looked like different length bristles, and there was plenty of product in the container, but as you can see there was actually a lot of flaking and a lot of fallout by the end of the day. Now what I liked about this container is it feels very solid. The brush is quite similar to the Rare Beauty. There's lots of product in there which I really like as well. But I have to say, again, like the Rare Beauty, I was a little bit underwhelmed by it, and it smudged at the end of the day as well. Quite badly, in fact. So a little bit disappointed with this. So not sure I could really recommend it, but again, maybe the mini is the way to go if you want to give it a try. Now, talking of minis, the next mascara is the Benefit They're Real. Now, I can't honestly remember whether this was viewer suggested or not. I think it might have been, but have a look at the clip and see what you think. Benefit They're Real mascara retails for £27 or $22 in the full size. The claims are that this is the mascara that's beyond belief. It lengthens, curls, volumizes, lifts and separates for a spectacular out-to-here look. It's won several awards, including Glamour Beauty Award for Best Designer Mascara in 2017. And there was a little bit of smudging at the end of the day, but I think they look pretty good. Well, I have to say I was really impressed with this. There was a little bit of flaking off at the end of the day, and as it's a mini, and it's a rubber brush that I don't always love, but I did find that my lashes, I felt, looked long and luscious, so I was really pleased with the overall effect. Maybe not quite va-va-voom, but maybe just va or va-va. And finally, we come to the priciest of all the mascaras, the Charlotte Tilbury Exaggereyes. Now this is my choice, this is not viewer suggested, and I have actually been wearing this mascara on and off in videos over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Charlotte Tilbury Exaggereyes mascara retails for £28 or $29. The claims are that it's enriched with lash conditioning jojoba waxes for lash defense, and that it hugs, grips and separates every lash. It's a really heavy and chunky container, and the brush is curved and there's plenty of product in it, which I really liked. And the overall effect are thick black lashes, which is my go-to look. Now, I'm sorry to say I completely forgot to show you what the mascara looked like at the end of the day, but from past experience it has lasted really well, and it's giving me that blackness, that va-va-voom that I really aspire to, and I do really love it. So there you have it. Those are the 7 mascaras that I've been testing over the last few weeks and my verdicts on them. So let me know in the comments what you think. Have they worked on your lashes? Those of you who recommended the particular mascaras, are you seeing the same effect that I'm seeing? Are you getting the staying power? I think it is so dependent on the type of lashes you have, and like I say, mine are very spindly, and of course they're treated with a lash lift, so that might affect them in some way, but of course then I'm also counterbalancing that, I guess, with my lash growth serum. So let me know in the comments anyway, would you try any of these mascaras? If you have tried them, what did you think? And if you've enjoyed this video, I'd be so grateful if you consider subscribing to my channel and giving me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. And if you'd like to hear more from me, I have a monthly newsletter, and the link to subscribe to that is in the description box below. And in that, I don't just talk about beauty, but I also talk about fashion, lifestyle, books, podcasts, TV, film, music, and all the other bits and bobs that bring us joy. And thank you so much for watching. It means the absolute world to me. It really does. And I hope you're all doing really well. And I look forward to seeing you on my next video. Bye.